In the earlier part, we discussed about the definition of OD and some of the theories which formed the basis of organization development and the interventions that have been used. And we also outlined the changing nature of organizations where speed becomes very important, uncertainty becomes very crucial, and therefore I think sustainable solutions have to be found to make organizations effective. That is the kind of a need. I think we are in a changed kind of a world where change has to be faster. What are the new dimensions as a result of all these that are emerging in developing OD facilitators? Are those people who can help facilitate organization development? Quite unlike in the past, people's expectations have changed from organizational leaders. In the olden days, whatever the leader said, people have taken for granted. But in today's world, most people would question, would want to know more information, would want to be as wise as their seniors. They keep asking, I want to know what is happening so that I can be a better individual, better contributor, and things like that. The implication for OD is, of course, OD always lived by this value. OD is a participative process. It has always said organization development starts with a diagnosis of the current situation, and the current situation is diagnosed collectively by people who are actors. If people who are involved in change diagnose their own kind of a situation with the help of an external facilitator, change can be faster, change can be sustainable. So I think today this particular tenet of organization development has got blown up. Without getting people to participate, you cannot initiate any change. So the first dimension of developing OD facilitators is to inculcate in them a value to maximize participation. If you have to maximize participation, it can't be limited to a section of an organization, but it has to involve all the people. In one of the organizations, an engineering company where some of the OD consultants have worked, they have taken almost 20 years of training people to be process sensitive. Now, the way they have done it was they took the top 30 people and they took about 2 to 3 years to build process sensitivity in them. Then they went to the next level, which included another 200 people, and which took another 2 years. And after that, they went to the next level, which is about 500 people. So it almost ended up as an organization development exercise to build the process sensitivity and competencies of these people across about 15 to 20 years. But today, you just can't afford to do that. Now, today, you need new technology, and you say, I want everyone to be as human sensitive, human resource oriented, or engraved with the spirit as fast as possible. So we have new technologies that are available. For example, the whole system change, like large scale interactive process in which the entire system is brought under one roof. A 500 people, 1000 people, 10,000 people, it doesn't matter. Or get the whole system to talk about the future, the common future they have, or other interventions which in some of the conferences and other places, proponents like Roland Sullivan are talking about whole system change, holistic kind of a change. These have become, I think, important parts. So you have to develop a new breed of OD facilitators who believe in maximizing participation. The second important thing is be prepared to start change a short time after you conduct an exercise. Sometimes when we go to organizations to initiate change in a performance management system, performance appraisal system, or enhance employee engagement, we discover just about 1 year ago another consultant had come and introduced a number of things, changed the performance management system, but it is not working, it can be improved, and therefore within a year a OD consultant is called to sometimes undo what has been done earlier and then start all over again. I mean, this is a new challenge, but we'll have to prepare our people not merely to find out faults with what has gone wrong in the previous one, but to talk about what is the changed kind of a scenario and how we can fine tune whatever has been done in the past and so on. And today, this may not be very relevant to, I'm not very sure, countries like China, where there is already a good degree of gender diversity. But across the world, organizations are talking of including people with diverse backgrounds so that they can bring creative solutions to problems. There is not one way of looking at any given problem, there are different ways. The people with different backgrounds in terms of education, age, community, social status can bring in alternative solutions and so on. And there is another important thing that is coming up across the world, and I think the OD consultants have to be trained for this, is to care for the future of the society. Climate change, the struggle for space, water, population growth, reducing natural resources, all these are creating new pressures on organizations. And therefore, I think the OD consultant has to become very socially conscious and sensitive. The other dimension which is gained importance in the last 2-3 decades is focus on sustainability. Any change you bring should be sustainable until the next change comes. Uh, People are knowledgeable, they seek information, they are well informed, they have a thirst for knowledge, and therefore the OD consultant or OD facilitator should start with an assumption that other people are all self actualized kind of people and they have a thirst for knowledge. And therefore, the OD facilitator cannot anymore say that I am only a process specialist. I don't care about what your company does. OD facilitator has got to understand also the business of the company and be in touch with the changing realities and understand the context under which each company is working. So, the new thrust for developing OD facilitators is that they should be socially conscious, constantly learning. They are learning constantly. They can manage diversity. They take a lot of initiative. They can experiment. They can act with speed. They are vision and goal focused. They deliver results. With sound fundamentals in behavioral science knowledge and ability to change and mix various solutions with creativity. This is the new challenge in preparing the new organization development facilitators. So they should be concerned about the organizational goals and not merely say that I'm a behavioral scientist, I don't care about the context. They should understand the context. So a good OD consultant will start by taking a tour of the company and talking to the top management, interacting with people and understanding the context. So it is an essential kind of a thing. And the good OD consultant is also socially conscious and is conscious of whatever is happening, issues are taking place in that particular country and so on. Uh, all this is possible. Organizations expect fast change and they want to change with speed and results. They want sustainable change. And on one hand, they may say stable and sustainable change, they may themselves change even before the change interventions are implemented. They like results even before the change intervention is implemented. So, this is a very peculiar thing. Sometimes people say that, Professor, you help us to do this, but I think the result should come tomorrow. I think that's the kind of a challenge most organizations face. OD facilitators need to focus on educating top on the nature of change process and participative values for sustainability and speed of change and involvement of the whole system. Ethics and values have become an extremely important part. Integrity is a very important part. If you do not have organizational integrity, if you don't have strong ethics and values in the company, then you cannot. So, a very important challenge for OD facilitators is to understand their own values, is to understand the values of organization and promote values that bring about sustainable kind of a change. So these are some of the dimensions on which organization should move. So if in your country, if you have to develop OD facilitators, first I think you need to understand and outline the changing nature of business. Changing nature of business. Also understand and highlight the changing realities of your country. The demographic profile of your country is very important. What is the demographic profile in the next 5 to 10 years, and how is it going to change in the next 40 to 50 years? I think these are all important concerns, and OD facilitator cannot say that I have been hired to do bring about change for tomorrow. I am not bothered about what is going to happen day after tomorrow. So you start by helping the OD facilitator to understand and appreciate the current environment, current context, as well as the future likely context. The same way, the business context of the organization, the aspirations of the top management, aspirations of all levels of people in the organization, the strong points of the current culture of the organization, and the need for values of the organization. All these things need to be understood by the OD facilitator. So, those who are involved in training OD facilitators will have to train them at least half the time on the realities facing the country, the industry, and so on, and the rest of the half on understanding the psychology of people, what works, what does not work, what interventions can be made, and how to cope up with the changing expectations and changing realities of the entire world. So I hope uh, the OD facilitation in your country will examine some of these issues. I would strongly recommend that the industry and the universities come up with position papers, a paper that outlines the success experiences in your own country of various OD interventions and where they did not work, and draw lessons from it, and then work out your own agenda for building OD facilitators in your country and also across the regions if there are any changes and so on. So I would like to thank you for your patient listening and wish all the delegates attending this conference in China all the best and very successful use of organization development facilitation.